So since you guys liked part one so much, like I actually think that it might be the fastest one of my videos on the channel that has blown up, of course I wanted to make a part two for your entertainment. And that's why today I'm going to be listing a part two of the top 10 influencers that let fame get to their heads and did crazy and cringeworthy things that either maintained their fame or because they thought they were famous and were trying to keep it that way. What's up, IOers? It's Mackenzie. And before I get into it, make sure to go down and subscribe below if you're new here to join our family. So starting off with number 10, we have bad review after no discount. So this is a wild one where the influencer was not revealed, but basically someone posted a Yelp review of an Italian restaurant that had 1 star on Reddit. And when you read the review, you discovered that it was written by an influencer who said that she loved the food and she told the manager that she would be posting it on her social media accounts. But when the check came and the meal was still full price, she gave the restaurant a 1-star review because, quote, the manager needs to understand how to treat customers. So to summarize here, the girl says that the food was amazing, but ended up giving it a 1-star because it wasn't discounted. Because I'm pretty sure the manager could have cared less if this girl posted it to her account. To quote what was said in the review, she said, quote, I told the manager it was some of the best Italian food I've ever had, and I told her I'm gonna post it on my Instagram where I have over 11,000 followers. And I thought she would be grateful for the free advertising, but when the check came, there was no discount at all. Continue that she thought at least one of the entrees would be taken off, but when the bill came full price, she decided that she would never step foot in there again. And if that just doesn't say it all, I truly don't know what does. Then up at number 9, Elle Darby. So the story about Elle Darby asking for a free stay to a hotel in Dublin called the Charleville Lodge went ultra viral because instead of just replying no, the owner of the hotel put her on blast and put the email that Darby had sent to him on his hotel's Facebook page with her asking for a free stay in exchange for promotion on her Instagram account. After this happened, it quickly went viral and tons of people started to hate on Darby, as even though he didn't include her name, people were able to figure out that it was her pretty quickly. And after this, many online called her entitled and told her to pay for the things that she wants. Then because of all the hate she was receiving, she actually made a response video on her YouTube channel explaining her side of the story. People in particular were getting on her for saying that she had done a similar deal with Orlando Studios prior and it was, quote, great for them. But even though many here took the opportunity to hate on her and all other influencers in general, many backed her up and shamed the hotel for being so unprofessional and putting this girl on blast for really no apparent reason. And I gotta say for this one, I'm kind of on Darby's side. Like, she sent a polite and professional email, and if the company didn't want to do the deal, they could have just ignored it or said no, not gotten thousands of people to, cyberbully this poor girl, who's not even as entitled as some of the other people on this list. And at number 8, Marissa Fuchs. So Marissa Fuchs, aka Fashion Ambitionist on Instagram, went viral online after her fiance Gabriel Grossman filmed a 3-day-long scavenger hunt that ended in him proposing and then having an impromptu wedding right after. But things quickly turned when The Atlantic discovered a marketing deck and people quickly concluded that this whole thing was just a marketing stunt. And it seemed like the entire internet was mocking the couple for thinking that they could get away with this without anyone noticing anything fishy. However, after the story blew up, Marissa claimed that she had no idea what was happening, that the whole thing was a genuine surprise to her. Apparently, her fiancé worked with one of Marissa's oldest friends on the proposal plan, and she's apparently the person responsible for the sleek marketing deck and all the great content that came out of the proposal. And she continued that her fiancé paid for every part of the proposal as well. But of course, after all this, people were still pretty suspicious and accused her of using a very special life moment for content and likes on the gram. And at number 7, Mariale Marrero. This is another crazy one with a lot of details, but a YouTuber named Mar, whose real name is Mariale Marrero, went to a salon in Vegas to do the whole going to the worst rated thing in my city that had become super huge on YouTube at the time. And of course, since she had wanted to make a video about it, she vlogged the whole thing. But in the thumbnail of the video, she claims that the salon gave her a skin infection. And since she did not try at all to hide the name of the salon, the owners quickly found out. In the video, she was calling the products names like, quote, salmonella in a jar and salmonella spray, and then when the artist was applying makeup, there was text that said casually getting a skin infection. But after this started to get a lot of attention online, the daughter of the makeup artist called out the YouTuber on Twitter, saying that the whole thing was just fabricated for views, and then questioning how she could have basically finished a bottle of skin cream she got for the infection that she had only gotten a few days earlier. And after a back and forth with the daughter saying that she was lying and asking for a doctor's note, and then the YouTuber saying that she was not lying, nothing was really resolved to my knowledge. Up at number 6, Jake Paul. So of course Jake Paul was gonna be on this list because in the early days of Team 10, he definitely did a lot of things that most normal people just wouldn't do because he was famous. One incident was when he jumped on top of a KTLA news van and then made fun of the news reporter's shoes when he asked him to get off the van. KTLA was down there reporting as Jake Paul's neighbors were complaining about all the ruckus he caused in their neighborhood and all the fans that constantly were on their street. One neighbor said, quote, "It used to be a really nice quiet street and now we're just this war zone." Then the reporter told Jake how his neighbors described living next to him as, quote, "a living hell and a circus." Then Jake responded, "I mean, people like going to circuses, right?" Yeah, really no comment after that one. I think you guys definitely get what I'm saying. Up at number 5, the Ingham Family. So in this one, a family decides to sell a life-size replica of their child. I guess it's a trend going around in the doll community to buy incredibly realistic looking dolls. So this YouTube family called the Ingham Family decided to get in on the trend and sell a replica of their 4-month-old child. The doll is supposed to look like Jace, their son, when he was 2 weeks old. There was 250 of the dolls produced and they were selling for $346 each. And it comes with a birth certificate and some outfits for the doll. So after this announcement, there was some support for the doll, but there was also a lot of backlash from people that found it really gross that they would be selling such an intimate thing, with one viewer writing, quote, "He's your baby, no one else's. Why would you want someone to have a replica of your own child? It's honestly wrong on so many levels." And then another bringing up another point, quote, "What if a weirdo buys one?" with a concerning emoji. And yeah, this one's definitely a little strange to me. And at number 4, Tiffany Mitchell. Lifestyle blogger Tiffany Mitchell, who runs the page at Tiforelli, got some backlash after she got in a motorcycle accident and then decided to post very posed looking pictures on her Instagram right after it happened, making it all look like it was kind of staged or something. But she responded back to this by saying, quote, "She would never turn a very important personal story like this into a brand campaign," to BuzzFeed News. She also added that she is sad that people are taking it this way and politely requested that BuzzFeed News not proceed with writing this story as it would, quote, "draw negative attention to her." But they obviously did end up running it. In her post that got all the attention, she wrote that her photographer friend was driving alongside taking photos of her at the time of the accident. The friend then continued to snap photos during and after the traumatic event, and that's why she had the photos to post to her Instagram. She wrote very lengthy captions on the post essentially telling her story of the events that took place after the accident. But some of the photos looked really staged in my opinion. Like, am I the only one that thinks this photo of her with the smart water looks really carefully placed? And commenters agreed, saying things like, quote, "This must have been super scary and I'm glad you're okay, but if my friend continued to take photos while I was lying semi-unconscious in the road, I'd be furious. I love your photos, but it's a little weird to include those." And another added, "How are people commenting like this is normal?" Up at number 3, BackpackDiariez. Jean and Camille of BackpackDiariez on Instagram are another couple that were called out for putting their lives at risk just for an Instagram photo. The pair were traveling to Ella, Sri Lanka, and allegedly took the picture while the train was moving along a bridge through dense trees. They captioned the picture, quote, "One of our wildest kisses," to make it sound as daring as it looked. But the picture was also quickly criticized for promoting dangerous behaviors to their fans and just being very reckless all around, with people commenting things like, quote, "And then they wonder why people die by getting similar pics." And maybe bleep die there. And quote, "It has nothing to do with wilderness, it's pure stupidity." And then implying that it will be on the couple if someone hurts themselves by trying to do this. After all the backlash, the couple responded saying, quote, "When we took the picture, the train was moving at a walking speed and the edge was not deep at all." Continuing, quote, "We would never risk our lives or health to get a good picture. We care too much for each other." In at number 2, Polo. So Rossi Lothario Adams II, aka Polo, gained his online popularity by creating a few Instagram accounts that he would regularly post to. But he was best known for a social media company called State Snaps, where he would take pictures around Iowa State University in around 2015. And he was famous for the hashtag #DoItForState. But the problem was that someone else owned the domain for doitforstate.com. And that's when he went to extreme measures to try and take the domain from the man. Forcefully. with Adams persuading his cousin to hold the owner of the domain, Ethan Deo, at gunpoint in an attempt to force him to hand over the domain name. After Deo was able to get out of the situation without handing over the domain, he of course called the cops, and this ended with Adams and his cousin going away for 14 and 20 years respectively. And after seeing this story unfold, I just wanted to reiterate that doing an incredibly illegal act for a domain name to uphold your Instagram fame is definitely a bad idea. And I'm sure you IOers already know that, so I don't have to tell you. Then finally at number 1, Essena O'Neill. So since you guys know I sometimes like to include a different take on these types of videos so it's not all negativity, taking the number 1 spot here is Essena. So you might not know of her, but if you've been around for a while, you might have remembered how she made tons of headlines when she quit social media. When she quit social media a few years back. Basically, Essena had close to 700,000 followers on Instagram when she decided to quit social media and reveal the truth behind all of her carefully curated images, and how social media completely ruined her life and made her much more narcissistic and out of touch with reality. She wrote, quote, "I remember I obsessively checked the like count for a week since uploading it. This was when I was so hungry for social media validation. Now marks the day I quit all social media to focus on real life projects." And after she said all this, she said that this YouTube video would be the last thing that she ever posted to any of her social medias. But after she blew up when other influencers and celebrities celebrated her openness and were happy to see that they were not the only ones feeling this way. After this, she decided to make a website to be her new blog called letsbegamechangers.com, where she would be as real as possible and not make any money off her posts. But it seems like the site is no longer hers, and it seems like she's living her life completely off social media now. So I wanted to include someone who saw the fame going to their head, but then decided to get out and take care of themselves. Okay guys, so that's all from me. Let me know what you're thinking in those comments down below, or some more influencers that I could include in a part 3. But before I go, I'm gonna shout out some comments from part 1. So Pixie Dust Wrangler said, "Every time I hear the word influencer, I cringe." Well then that last one must have been a very cringy video for you. If you're stupid enough to be influenced into taking dangerous life-risking photographs by some nobodies on Instagram, I say go for it. Natural selection will be there to greet you. Okay, savage, but I do kind of agree with you on the one hand, but I only worry about really young people like preteens, but hopefully their parents will make sure that they don't do stuff like that for likes. Then Liam said, "The fact InformOverload is still making videos during lockdown inspires me to do work." Well, maybe later. I feel like you just said what we're all thinking there. But yeah, we want to inspire you to watch our videos in between doing things that are hopefully productive. We want a bit of productivity as well as laziness. We like an equal amount. Okay, well that's all from me for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for making it all to the way. Thanks so much for making it to the end if you're still here, and make sure to like and subscribe down below if you liked. Also follow the IO team on our socials to be kept up to date with us. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you in the next one.